So you want to date in Japan? I get it. Me too. But dating here as a foreigner is a lot harder than you think. Oh right, hi, it's me, Jonathan DLC. You may be asking, why is this strange man sitting on the floor looking miserable, eating an entire tub of ice cream? Well, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and even though I've been in Japan for a few months now, I'm still alone. You may have heard that dating here in Japan can be kind of a challenge for foreigners, but it's a lot more than that. It kind of really sucks. And now that I've been here for a few months and have experienced the dating scene, I have come to a conclusion. I'm doomed. No, not really, but there are a lot of challenges that you have to overcome if you want to date here in Japan. So I've gathered my thoughts and experiences, and I've come up with some surprising reasons why dating in Japan as a foreigner kind of sucks. Imagine you're me, a terrifying thought, I know, but bear with me. You meet a cute girl. She looks like she's in her early 20s, my age, and you kind of hit it off. The more you talk, the more curious you are about her relationship status. Are you taken, or are you single and ready to mingle? Then, as you're talking, she offhandedly informs you that she's actually 37, married, and has 2 kids. Haha, yeah, kids, huh? That's great. Wanna make more? Now, this is not an attack on Japanese people, far from it. Japanese people just tend to age very gracefully. They look younger for much longer. The only issue with that, really, is you have to play a very annoying game of, are you 16 or are you 40? And it's a game you can't win because they're almost never in between. Every single woman I meet here seems to have been married for a long time and has more kids than a 19th century Dust Bowl family. Well, not that many kids in Japan, but shut up, you know what I mean. And because of this, I've genuinely struggled a lot with meeting someone my age. It feels like it's impossible to tell if she's in high school or if she has kids who are going to high school. Now you must be thinking, sucks to be you, Sean, but that's not going to affect me. And if you live in Tokyo or any other big city, you're right, it's probably not going to affect you. However, if you come to Japan for teaching, there is a significant chance that you will be placed in the countryside, like me, where the average age of people is much higher. So many of the people you will meet will be much older than you're expecting. No offense, Japanese people, please, you guys are just youthful and beautiful for so much longer than us grubby ass white people. And yes, this is a very stupid problem, I get it, but it is a problem I've genuinely struggled with, so something to look out for when you come to Japan. So I'm at a tiny little bar and it is crowded. The only seat that's available is next to this beautiful woman who looks roughly my age. In retrospect, she's probably 40, but I don't know. To my surprise, once I sit down, she actually starts talking with me. She tries speaking in broken English, very cute, by the way. It's a way to a man's heart right there. And because of this, I explained that I can actually speak a little bit of Japanese, which isn't entirely a lie. I can speak a little Japanese, just badly. So she starts talking with me in Japanese, and I am understanding like 5% of what's going on. It is just right over my head. But rather than stop her every 2 seconds to try and decipher what the f*** is going on, I just nod my head and agree like a idiot. And I even throw in the occasional, oh, so desu ne, to make it look like I understand what's happening. But then she did something to me. The worst possible thing she could have done to me at that moment. She finished her sentence with ka. Huh? Now, for those who don't know, in Japanese, ka is how you ask a question. You put it at the end of the sentence. Blah 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 desu ka. One of the few things I actually know in Japanese. So there she is, waiting for a response to her question, because my dumbass was nodding and agreeing the whole time. So as she sat there, menacingly, I tried to answer her question. I couldn't speak with her, and I had to awkwardly explain that my Japanese is actually really shit. She was really cool about it, but she didn't really talk to me for the rest of the night, and I went home alone, ruining all the days I had put off studying my Japanese. But such is the reality of living in Japan without knowing a lot of the language. It's not like people don't want to talk to you, it's just that they can't. And that struggle with the language barrier becomes a huge obstacle to overcome. You can't expect to date anybody if you can't properly speak with them. So, if you're coming to live in Japan, learn Japanese. Learn Japanese, you fucking knob. It will honestly save you from so much turmoil, not just in your dating life, but in all facets of living in Japan. Often in Japan, meeting new people can feel like talking to a PR rep. Every sentence and every word feels like it's been molded to be the most homogeneous and agreeable response possible. Trying to get genuine reactions and responses here feels like pulling permanent teeth. When you meet people here, it always seems like they're in professional mode. They hide their true feelings at all costs. Are you trying to be nice? Is this how you really feel? I don't know. I can't tell. But there is a reason why many Japanese people seem to change their personalities almost completely, and it has to do with the concept of hone and tatamai. Hone is the Japanese word for a person's true feelings, and tatamai is their public persona. Now, admittedly, this is a huge hurdle when trying to interact with anyone, not just for dating. But I found that a lot of foreigners here struggle to have any kind of relationship just because of how difficult this concept is. Are you saying how you really feel? Are you in professional mode? I don't know. I have no idea. And while changing the way you act based on your environment is hardly just a Japan-only thing, from an American standard, how they do it in Japan is way more extreme, almost like you have two entirely different personalities. And I think it just has to do with the fact that this kind of concept is so deeply ingrained in Japanese culture. People in Japan constantly try to avoid conflict at all costs, so having this very clean, agreeable public persona and then hiding how you really feel is a lot more socially viable here in Japan. But it's hard. As an American, it's really hard to meet anybody, to date, or even make friends, because I don't know how they really feel at all. But if you don't believe me, all you have to do is listen to a Japanese person answer the phone for work. They completely change their personality. They go from normal, everyday work personality to ultra mega turbo hyper polite mode, where they completely change their voice and the way they speak. It's so bizarre, but it's a great example of this hone and tatamai concept in action. Now, even in my brief experience dating here in Japan, I've already come across the concept of what I will call the handbag man. Now, what is a handbag man, you may ask? Well, for example, a while ago, I went on a date with a Japanese girl who I had really hit it off with, who spoke good English. Amazing, lucky me, I know. I was very excited. It was my first time dating in Japan. I was looking forward to it greatly. However, that excitement quickly turned to disappointment when throughout the entire evening, she described how she'd always wanted a foreign boyfriend, and she was very excited to show me off to her friends. Not my words, not some bad interpretation, literally her words. Now, needless to say, there was no second date. Why, you may ask? Well, because as a foreigner trying to date in Japan, you will come across a lot of people like this, who only see you as some sort of exotic accessory. Hence the term handbag man. They only want to be with you because you're a foreigner. They don't actually care about you. Which, looking back, is pretty wild that this woman considered me to be some kind of prize. I mean, look at me. I'm like a participation trophy at best. Now, it's not just men who have to deal with this. I've heard a lot of experiences from foreign women here in Japan who have to deal with the same stuff from Japanese men. The best way to combat this, in my opinion, is to just move on. Find somebody else who will actually care about you. I mean, there are plenty of foreigners here who have Japanese partners who actually love each other. I mean, not me, but they're people, apparently. So don't give up. It is possible. It just might take a few attempts. Unless... Now, this final reason you're not gonna like very much. I know I didn't when I got here, but it may be the most critical issue when it comes to dating here in Japan. You. What, you may say? There's no way. I'm the epitome of perfection. But... hear me out. There are many people who come to Japan that think once they get here, every single person in a 10-mile radius will be gooping at the sight of them, and they'll line up in long rows just to get a chance to be with them. If you think coming to Japan will turn you into a regular Casanova, incorrect. Honestly, I've found that most Japanese people here aren't really interested in dating a foreigner. They find that trying to overcome the culture and language barriers are just too much of a hassle in their busy lives. And most young people here are very busy, whether it be with their work, personal, or family lives. They're really spread thin on time. But that does not stop foreigners from coming here and thinking they're gonna get the full rock star treatment. But for this point, Japanese people being busy is just one side of the coin. I think the other reason is far more crucial. How do I put this politely? If people in your home country don't want to date you, people in Japan don't want to either. Now, this is not an attack. I mean, obviously, look at me. I'm not some Giga Chad who can rain down judgment on all of the weebs. Watch my first video. It's all about being a weeb. But you really need to think. Deep down, if one of your major reasons to come to Japan is because you want to turn your love life around, you need a better reason to come. Your luck won't magically change when you step foot in Japan, far from it. If you think you're gonna come here and find all of the easy Japanese girls, then you're lying to yourself. Japanese people are not easy, let me break that myth. They value the same qualities in a partner as everyone else. So if you're undateable back home, you're undateable here. That's just how it works. And the few people who wouldn't care about you being undateable are the same people who want to turn you into a handbag. So my advice to you is simple. If you're gonna come to Japan, have a great reason for it. Come to better yourself. Come to try a new way of living. Don't just come to date. The more you focus on yourself, the better off you'll be. Your luck with dating will absolutely change for the better. I promise. Oh, also learn Japanese. That'll literally help you so much. So there you have it. 5 reasons why dating in Japan as a foreigner kinda sucks. But I didn't make this to discourage you, rather to prepare you. Dating in Japan takes a lot of compromise, acceptance, and actually learning Japanese. But if you keep these points in mind, then dating after you move here to Japan will be much, much easier. And if you want to see a video about what the first month in Japan is actually like, click here. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell to hear my loudest yell. I will see you in the next video. Deuces.